I'm going to keep doing the same goddamn thing. Alright?
Videotaping.
I would say, yeah, there's a good handful of you that actually obviously went through this before.
That's how you call
All
it.
these steps are so important from the beginning. Tom?
Yeah. Sorry.
Now we're going to start
5:15.
polishing it up.
Or at least soon after.
Polish it up. You sit up, wrap them up, anyway, break them down. And smart. Mission control.
Just call me when you get to the kids doctor.
It's just this.
Okay.
This. If your flexibility sucks, a lot of guys can't even get to mission control and back start posture. You start posture up, and they can only get their leg up here. You know what I mean? That's why you gotta be able to flip it up. See how you're going here? Bam. You gotta flip it up. That's flexibility. Bam. Now we're here. A lot of guys that suck in mission control, they can't even get here. Any kind of posture, they try to push up, they can't even get their leg up. They're not even here, then they just don't listen control up. You gotta be able to get here quick. Hold it down. We can get the retard control here, put a cable hook just to calm his ass down, and just squeeze him. So we're gonna cable hook here. If he's stronger than, if he's a lot stronger than you, then we go to crackhead control here. Just calm him down. And we can even work from crackhead control. We can get zombie and crackhead control. Clear the neck. Now we're here. Now we control him here. Make him roll. And when he rolls, then I slow him down. Flare the legs out wide. So now, the Kung Fu move, when we're at Chill Dog here, his head's over here. This is what it looks like. Leg over, parallel, push. Bring the leg over, parallel, push. It's like a serious palm strike. You gotta get rid of these. Yeah, can you do that? That's the move. Bring it over, push. Bring it over, push. And the harder you push the side of your foot on his face, the easier it's going to be to get to Jew claw. Right? It's going to put you right on the side. Bam. And then we got to transition from Kung Fu move right to controlling the wrist to controlling the outside of your body. All that is so important because if I did everything perfect from here, through the neck, Kung Fu move here, and then I'm here, if I don't secure everything, I just get here, first of all, I have no control of his arm. If he gets his arm here, I don't have shit. There's no homophobia. He's going to turn into me, his back on top. So, I got to keep that arm over there. So as soon as I get the Jew claw, I already got to control his wrist. And if I'm controlling his wrist and I'm not doing anything with this, all he's got to do is jump this way, and he's out and on top and past my guard. So, Jew claw is very important. Stop it. First I got to control here, and now he can't jump this way because I'm controlling his body here. He can't escape. I'm giving him a couple of escapes. I'm giving him a roll here, which I want to stop his roll. Flare the legs out wide. Palm strike. Now I want him out. I don't want him to roll fast initially, but once I'm up and ready to rock, he can roll all he wants now. I'm in side control. Make sense? See all those little things that you need it's got to be second nature. When you go from Kung Fu move, I'm already here. Again. Kung Fu move, look what I'm doing. As soon as this is here, I'm already coming. I'm not giving him any chance. And if I get here, wait a second, and then do this, that's better than waiting 2 seconds. And how long does it take you to figure out that you're not controlling? You got a good guy that as soon as you go to Jew claw, if he doesn't get any control, the second he's here, he's already flying over here. And then the second, that's a natural reaction. High balance. As soon as I get caught over the block, I just roll. I get the hell out. I'll either roll that way, I'll either roll out. As soon as I'm here, because I don't have the greatest strength, you know, wrestlers can usually power up here, try to yank out. You know, that works too, depending on how strong he is, how much stronger he is than you, and how good your Jew claw is. There's a lot of factors. But when I'm caught here, I'll just say, fuck it. I'm just gonna roll, I'm gonna give him side control and try to regain half guard. That's right. Going with the guys at my school, they've got the omoplatas down. I just get the hell out of there and roll. I sacrifice it. So if you wait 1 second and sit up and crank it, and finish it. So that's why, and that's what you do. You experience it every time. It's like, let's just get out of here. If you sit there and the guy is good at finishing it off, if you sit here and I know if I know he's not going to roll, then I'm going to sit up and finish him right here. I'm not going to waste any time. But I assume that the guy is either going to posture up, which makes it very hard for me to sit up, or he's going to roll. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to give him the roll, force him to roll, and then control the roll, side control. That's the basic strategy there. So again, posture up, break him down, control control, zombie, hug the knee. Remember the zombie? You're going around, the back, and his elbow. Up, hug the knee. Now we're going to clear the neck. Let go of the ankles, still do the leg curl here. Hug the knee. Clear the neck, we hook the ankle. Never let go of hugging the knee. The reason I hug the knee is if I'm not hugging the knee, I'm just doing this, he's going to pull out easy. It's easy to pull out. Pull out. It's so easy to pull out. Pull out again. I'll even hold this with both of them. Pull out the center. That's not what's keeping them in. This is what's keeping them in. Now we can't pull out. I'm hugging the knee. Come through, still hugging the knee. So I'm pushing his face. This leg comes out on top. Push the legs out. And again, when I'm doing the lockdown, it's leg upward pressure with the elbow, downward on the shoulder. If he doesn't roll, I'm going to sit up. He's not going to roll. And then sometimes the guys will start to roll. They notice I'm slowing them down, and they know I want to pass to his right side. So at this point, the real good guys will start hip escaping and blocking the side, then pass to the right side. They start turning it this way. So I'll let go of this right here and come around this way. That's another option. We'll do that a little bit later. Again, break them down to mission control. Zombie. Really clear the neck, hug the knee. Visible collar if you can. Come through move here. Force him to roll. I'm squeezing tight up here. He rolls. Alright, you guys ready? Let's do it. Posture up. Now mission control freeze. Everybody freeze mission control. If you're in the guard, sit back on your heels and kind of look up. Sit back on your toes. Posture up. We just always call it the twister because the guillotine, of course, is the front headlock, neck wrap. So it's good that you don't have the same name for two different moves. So then the twister just stuck. The twister is huge part of my game. It adds another dimension to your side control. Adds another dimension to your back. You have another route to go. You have, the twister basically, for those of you who haven't seen it, here's the back. You got two hooks here. We're attacking here. We got two hooks in, not that deep, kind of deep. We're attacking the back. The twister from here would be releasing one hook, putting that other hook in deep, and now we're fighting from here. It's kind of like the back, but now we're on the side, and the goal, of course, is to crank that neck here. We got legs we can attack here, different ways. A lot of different things we can do here. An inverted arm bar here. That, or none of this is working at all. You can always jump back to the back and work a rear naked choke. Most people, there's thousands of wrestlers out there that are good at the twister. Did it in high school, but not too many have made that move work in submission wrestling, because in wrestling the main setup is from the back already. So when you start wrestling like this, they're ready to wrestle, you just stick one hook in, and bam, you're ready fighting here. So it's easy. You don't really need, there's not much of a setup there. You got the guy's back in wrestling, you stick one hook in, and you're leg riding, and you're working the guillotine. In jiu-jitsu, you got a guy's back like that, you just choke him. There's really, jiu-jitsu law is you got the guy's back. That's the final level. You got the guy's back, stick to the choke. Don't really think about switching off to anything. Maybe an arm bar, but it's always a great option to be able to switch from the back to the twister or the back to spider web or any kind of arm bars. You gotta have as many options as possible. That's what it's really all about. You gotta keep changing and adding options. Because when you got a guy's back, the back is the ultimate. I love it. I love being on someone's back. But they got their shoulder and their chin and both their hands, defending the rear naked choke. It's not that hard to defend a rear naked choke if you really concentrate on it, you work on it, start with people on your back. That's a good way to get really good at rear naked choke. So it's not easy choking a good guy out. You see it all the time in MMA. Guys give up their back all the time. They know they're going to escape. But then you look at guys like Marcelo Garcia, who have taken the back to all new levels. He gets someone's back at Abu Dhabi at 90%, they're going to attack. But it's not 90% with any of the other black belts. It's more like 20, 30%. He's doing something different. He's taking that back to no one's been close to his back. Very important. But still, and I even asked Marcelo once, last time I talked to him, I said, what options do you have after the back? If the back don't work. My friend, what? I go, if the back's not working, what do you like to do? I always like to hear options, different paths. My friend, you get the back, that's all you need. I'm like, oh, you never need the back. I'm like, okay, damn, I got some work to do on the back. I switch it up a lot. I'll go from back, like I said, to the truck, which is all the twister variations. I go to spider web. There's a lot of different things you can do. Again, the more options you got, the more weapons you have, the better. If a guy figures you out, you got three things, no gi. The most common, for me, I see really guys at high levels, the most common scenario is you get a guy who's really good. He's got 3 or 4 things that he's really good at. Might have a good heel hook, might have a good guillotine, really good kimura, and maybe a couple other things. But once you figure out a guy's game, you guys all know this. Once you go with the same guy enough, you know the shit, you know where to go to, and then when you defend that, you might get caught, a few times, but eventually you're gonna stop his game. And it's easier to stop if the guy's really good at only 3 or 4 or 5 things. That's easier to stop than if the guy's good at 20 things, 20 different paths. And that's hard to stop. Now you got a lot to think about. And that's another reason why learning all the variations from the twister is so huge. Again, right there, I took the twister off a failed back attempt, but it's more common to be in someone's side, have someone's side control than have their back. It's way more common. If you're going to guy equal level, man, you might never get his back. You might never get to have the option to go to the twister. But you probably can pass his guard, and if you pass his guard, there's an opportunity for all that twister stuff, which leads back to the back, which could lead to spider web too. You come back to the back to the truck. A lot of different options. And the hardest way to set up the twister is from side control. Definitely, that's the hardest. That takes a long time because it's a different kind of side control. You got to control someone in a different way. Most people are used to passing the guard and getting the regular side control here, head and arm, maybe knee on the belly, they're working here, maybe they're trying to work kimuras here, or they're working for the mount. After a while, that's your money. You pass the guard, you got your money, you got your way, you control with that, you got that head and arm. You stick with that, you like that. It took 3 minutes to pass this guard. You don't want to experiment, you want to stick to your shit. That's a problem too, because twister side control is different. This is the way you control. This is what I control. I work regular side control as well too. But right here, it's almost like I'm giving my back and sitting on his shoulder. I got my back on his jaw, and he might be bumping me off, and I'm constantly controlling here, keeping him. This takes a while to master that kind of control. At first, you go live, you're gonna get your back taken. He's gonna put you back in the guard. He's gonna choke you out. He might put you in the twister. Anytime someone tries to put me in the twister and they're not that good, I know I'm just gonna flip it. If you're not careful setting up the twister, and the guy's better at you, it's almost like leg locks. When you decide to go to leg locks, if that guy's better at you at leg locks, you're probably gonna get your ankle taken. That's one thing that all leg lock masters have in common, or most of them, is they all got messed up knees. Because they usually get the leg lock, and every now and then they run into a guy who's a little bit better, or just as good, and then they start cranking, and then they tear their ACL. Okay, so my point is, with all this is, it adds a whole different dimension, a whole different bag of tricks, a whole different way he's got to defend you and your attacks. If he knows you don't know any of the twister stuff, and you're not going to twister side control, he knows if you pass his guard, that maybe watch the Kimura, block the mount, don't give up your back, try to work back to half guard. And you can turn into him, which is, what you do. If you're in side control here, he's going to want to turn into you. He's not going to want to turn away. That's the jiu-jitsu law has always been, if anytime someone passes your guard, you turn into him, try to get your knees back, try to recover. Try to get half guard, try to get full guard if you can. That's huge. But if you've mastered twister side and the truck, eventually he's going to learn not to turn into you. The way you're going to defend that is to do nothing. If I'm here, he wants to turn into me. He turns into me, I'm going to set up the twister just like top, bottom, and wrestling. I stick the hook in, the hook's here. He's just not on his knees. I got the hook here. Meanwhile, I'm controlling. I lock everything down here. Just because he turned into me, he's trying to escape. He's trying to do what he's supposed to do. But if the guy knows the twister, it's exactly what I want. And then from here, we're going to roll. And now, I could just roll to his back, or I could attack his feet here. There's a lot of things I could do. Or, get back to the second. Or I could just use this setup here, even if his arm's here, doesn't matter. Just to get to the back. So hands caught, which is bad for him. We go to side control to the back from there. Very common in my school. A lot of guys, it takes so long to master every piece, just to control the guy. That's something you gotta work on its own, separate. Today, just working on twister side control. You could start, a lot of guys don't like working their twister side control because anytime they work it, usually in sparring, and when they spar, their egos are involved and they don't want to tap. So like I said before, you spend all this time passing the guard, and it's a buddy that you don't want to experiment with, and that's what usually happens in jiu-jitsu. You go to your go-to shit. You don't want to experiment while you're rolling against someone good. So you really never work on it if you're not drilling it on separate time. A good way to drill twister side control is starting twister side control with somebody and control him as long as possible. As soon as he gets your back or recovers half guard, start over again, switch. Just keep working at it. You remove the ego. That you got to drill certain positions live until you master it. Otherwise, you're never going to get good at it. And I hear the story over and over again. When someone comes up to me and says, "Oh, I hit the twister a couple times in class last week in a tournament." I'm like, "Where'd you get it from? Back or twister side or side control?" They always say back because the back is easier. Initially, getting the twister from the back is easier, but then you're probably not going to want to go to as much because you're thinking rear naked choke. So very few people get to the point where they make the twister part of their game, not something that they're trying to develop. Once you make it part of your game, that's your go-to, when you're going to not to work on it, you've already done all your work. Now then it starts to swell, and then you get really dangerous. Because now this guy's got two things to worry about. And the greatest thing about, or one of the greatest things about twister side control is it's easier to mount from here, especially if you have flexibility, than it is from here. If he's got his knee up defending the mount, sometimes I can't get that knee on his dough to slide it across. He's got his hand here pushing, even pushing my knee. It's hard. But if I got good twister side control here, and he's not turning into me, and all my tricks to get him on his side, to force him on his side, they're not working, I just mount. So, it makes your game, it takes your game to a whole new level. It makes your opponent have to worry about the mount. You gotta have a good mount too. Gotta have a good mount. That's a whole different part of the system. Your mount's gotta be down, dangerous, and respected. Because if you find guys just letting you mount, just to get you, just so that they get out of side control, that's not good. You need to work on your mount. You want guys to fear your mount. So that's a whole different game. Whole different game. But the twister side control allows you to work on that. And you're gonna find that people just would rather give you the mount than have to deal with your twister. So take advantage of that. I came to that point, probably in 98, 99, where my mount sucked. It was terrible. I would always pass the guard, and work twister side control and try to work from that angle. And then ultimately, the guys at my gym at John Jocks would just give me the mount. I knew that my mount sucked. And that it would be a lot easier for them if they would just give me the mount and they try to buck me off or whatever. They'd have a better chance there. But I just decided to make my mount, respected. Just that's all I wanted. Just to give me some respect. Don't let me just mount. And then, now I love the mount. I'm in the mount all the time. That's the goal. The mount opens up everything. I love the mount. I love being on top. A lot of people think that I pull guard because I would rather be on top. The only reason I pull guard was in tournaments was because you train a couple months really, really, really hard. You're dieting. You're paying $60. You got to weigh in. It's not fun. You get preparing for a tournament. And then you get to the tournament and it's 6 minutes, and then you're standing up for 2 or 3, trying to take each other down. You finally get the fight to the ground. It's a 6-minute match. You spend $60. You drove 2 hours. So the reason I pulled guard is I'm like, I just wanted to get the party started. I didn't want to waste any time. So I want to make this clear that I don't ever recommend pulling guard unless it's your last option. If it's your last option, like if you're an MMA fighter and you're going against a guy who's fucking you up standing and you can't take him down, that's a scenario that happens all the time. Guy cannot take the guy down and he's getting his ass kicked. All you have is, the safest route is to pull guard and hopefully you've done your homework off your back, because that's going to be your only shot. Unless you're going to, you're going to take a chance going toe to toe with some guy who's kicking your ass. So, I would always rather be on top. All my half guard game is based on, my whole half guard is based on getting on top, finally getting on top. I'm not really finishing that many people from half guard unless they have no flexibility and then I can go to the electric chair and finish the method. Usually it's all sweep. I want to be on top. I want to sweep. I want to use the rubber guard for omoplatas to get a sweep so I can be on top, so I can pass the guard, so I can get to the mount, so I can get to the truck, so I can get to the back. Really, that's the goal. I like finishing off my back too, but most of my guard really is sweeps. Rubber guard is all based on, my main goal is to trap that right arm, trap the right arm down, sweep to get you to roll, and so I can get on top, so I can work on what I'm about to show you right now. This is really the basis of my game. So we're going to start off really, you're going to get a partner, and we're going to do a really easy setup, just so you understand what it feels like. He's on all fours here. I can put both hooks in to the back, but all I'm going to do is put one hook in really deep, and with my hands grab his far ankle, pull him on top of me, lock down that leg. Now we're in the truck. We'll never let go of his ankle or his hand. If I let go, he's out. All he's got to do is spin to the left, face me, and he's in my half guard. Spin to the left, face me, that's the way out. So anytime I have a guy on the truck, I'm always holding his ankle, holding the guards here. I'm not going to let him spin. He knows the way out is to break free and spin and face me, and now he's out. Again, all we're going to do is just stick one leg all the way in, grapevine it, grab his far ankle, his free ankle, both hands, pull him on top, and then we lock down the legs. It's not a triangle. Sometimes you can control the guy like this, but a lockdown is, my ankles are crossed here. I'm just trying to straighten out my legs. Same positioning in the half guard, and it's just as important in the twist. If I lose control of his leg here, he's out. I have nothing. I got to keep this lockdown in. It's got to be tight the whole time while I'm fighting here. So what we're going to do, we're going to start with a simple setup so everyone feels it, and we're going to throw a calf right on top of it. So we see one leg in, grapevine, pull him on top of us here, control with the lockdown. Then from here, this hand can stay on this foot here as high as possible on the toes, not the ankles, on the toes. Don't open up your hands like this. keep your thumbs in. And we're gonna grab these other toes the exact same way. At the toes, the higher the better. And then we're gonna stop. We're going from lock down here, grab the toes, and stop. You don't want to do this here because he can arm bar me here. Have it,
Don't pay me back.
I've been caught. So you don't want to do this. You want to control this leg because as soon as he feels you're going for this calf cramp, he's going to use that foot to kick everything through. He's going to, that's his state. You want to take this out of the mix. So you can isolate this, and you're stomping on a heel here. Very, very common. Getting all the way to the twister, that's halfway to the twister. Getting all the way to the twister is a lot. There's other steps that you have to master. Some of my guys just have mastered twister side control. You lock up your legs, you get to the truck, you go to the easy out, you go to the cap. That's the easiest one. Probably the highest percentage. Guys with strong legs, nothing's going to work all the time. Then you start thinking about your other options. But that's the one. I have a few guys that can get that far. They're really good. They're not very good at the last 3 or 4 steps to finish the twister. That'll come later. And then we'll start working on those steps later. Start building on the game. Every step needs to be mastered. Every little position. Every time I break a move down into steps, those steps have to be mastered. Your offense for that step has to be better than his defense. You have to move to the next step. That's all it really is. One more time. Your partner's going to get on all fours. Stick the grapevine in, both hands on his far ankle. Hold on top. Hook his toes. He's hot on his instep. Stop. All right? Grab a partner, I'm going to walk you through it. Get on all fours, ankles. You're straightening out your legs. Both hands on his ankle, just like this. Initially, just like this, everybody. Both hands on his right ankle. Just like this. You're not opening up your thumbs. Just look, it's real simple. Be on your back. You can cheat here. Look at the guy next to you. Now, with your right hand, you're going to grab his far. You're going to grab the leg that's locked down at the toes, high on the instep. Don't open your thumbs. With your left hand, you're controlling his right leg over the instep. With your right foot, stomp on your heel. Feel that? At the toes, not the ankle. If you're grabbing his ankles, you're not doing it right. Tap him out, and then switch. Tap him out and switch. You never got your left leg down. Switch. Switch. Go down. Checking everybody out. Switch. Remember, on this foot. You grab his ankle. Just move the ball. All right, stick your left grapevine in. Left grapevine in. Both hands on his right ankle. Pull him on top of you. Lock the legs down. There you go. Now, you gotta lock it down. That's a lock. Now, with your right hand, grab his left instep. Don't open up your thumbs. Your left hand grabs his right instep. Your right foot stops your left heel.
That's what I had a problem.
If you're opening up your thumbs like this, you're not doing it right. You never open up your thumbs. That crane style. Crane style. Don't open up your thumbs. Never open. There you go. That's it. Stop. Switch. Go. Nope. Whenever way off the edge, low on his ankle. Start over. You guys think that left grapevine deep, all the way through. Hook the ankle. Both hands grab as far as the ankle. Pull them on top of you. Don't open your thumbs.
Taking on a big project there, Joe.
Keep going, guys. Back and forth on the road. Good.
Don't let you. Yeah. Work one side, guys. Don't try to work both sides. Work the same side. Trust me. Work the same side.
I'm not sure where from here.
Here, this hand. It's gotta be deep. It's gotta be deep. Now you gotta stomp on. My legs are short too. Stomp on your own heel. There you go. Pull on. Right over there. Let me try it on.
Okay.
Some people don't feel it. There's people out there that don't feel arm crushes. That's just a little more pressure.
I'll stick my foot in my face.
Okay, time. You guys got the gist of that. Now we're going to work. Get on your back. Now we're going to work it from side control. Now we're going to, if you decide to go on your own on this, you have to go on the count here. It's kind of chaotic right there. It's got a lot of people. It's hard to keep everyone on the same page. But this one, you're going to be lost for sure. Now we're going to start getting a little, that was really not even a setup. Although, I guess you could look at it as a setup because that is a position. If the guy gets in a turtle, that happens a lot. When they're in a turtle, you could stick that grapevine and grab their ankles and pull on top of you. That's totally legit. You know, usually a guy will go for the back once, you know, if you have someone in a turtle position. Pull that over under and start working the back. But from here, now we're going to start getting a little more complex. Like I mentioned earlier, it's a lot easier to pass someone's guard than get their back, for sure. You know, there's a lot of times where you bypass passing the guard in a scramble, you jump on his back, or if the guy sucks really bad and is just used to just giving up his back because he's used to working with guys that don't know how to choke, you know, you can get those guys too, who just give you the back. Usually, at a high level, when you're going against someone really good, it's way easier to pass their guard than to get their back. And you might not even pass their guard. You might have to, you know, get tricky and try to get to the back or to the truck in a whole different. There's people out there you can't pass their guard, like from half guard I can get their back, or from the guard even, you know. But the most common way.
You keep saying the truck.
The truck is this position here. Got a lot of choices.
That's called the truck.
Yeah.
Okay, I just thought it wasn't.
And there's the calf crank here, the crotch ripper here, banana split here, twister here, and then there's a crazy footlock here.
That's a knee.
No percentage, but that's your knee?
Where's the diamond?
All right? Second pop? Sure. It's mice.
You saying I'm old?
Yeah, young people don't need ice. So what we're going to do is start in regular side control. We got head and arm here. And to get good at twister side control, you got to be able to transition from regular side control to twister side control without missing a beat. If you're uncomfortable and you're kind of like, well, if you're uncomfortable going to twister side control, you're going to get knocked off anyways. You're probably going to regain guard. You got to be really smooth, turn it in here, and make it a habit to, as soon as you turn into twister side control, I'm checking this knee. Because even in grappling, you take a knee right to the face. I've been cut open before. You got to be really smooth. Turn it in here, and make it a habit to, as soon as you turn into twister side control, I'm checking this knee. Because even in grappling, you take a knee right to the face. I've been cut open before. You got to be really smooth.
So just make that a habit. If you block this knee, this one will jack you. If you block this one, your elbow's protecting you here. My elbow's on the ground, both his arms are behind me. I'm sitting on his shoulder. The small of my back is leaning against his jaw. This is the ideal position. But there's going to be a lot of mixed up positions where they get this underhook here. Depending, I've been doing twister side control so long, this doesn't bother me here. All this means is he wants to get up to his side. I want him on his side. So please, you think you're going to get to your side with that underhook. He has that underhook there. I could still nail it. His arm gets trapped here. Now he can't defend. So, but initially, we want to practice when we're drilling perfect twister side. And again, you get right to the mat, get right to the back, or to the truck from twister side control. So we're going to start a regular side control, twister side control. Regular side control. See how we're basing out here? Basing out here, and this is swimming through. Basing out, swimming through. Then I switch my feet, check the knee. Right? If your ass is on the ground, you're not doing it right. If your ass is on the ground, that means your weight is on the ground. And he can push you off if he's got good hip space. He's going to push you with legs. Nothing's going to happen. You want it like this. If he gets a good angle on you when he starts, you don't want to be steady for him. As soon as he starts pushing, I'm going to start shaking my ass. Make it really hard for him to push me off. But initially you are going to get pushed off, and he is going to reclaim guard, half guard. He is going to get you back, and he's going to choke you, And so that's why it's a good idea to work on this position on your own. Just back and forth, no ego, just drilling the position. Then eventually you're going to start going to twister side control on your own, because you can control a guy better from there than regular side control, depending on how good your regular side control is. It's good to have both. You want the regular side control, you want total control, facing him, mounting, taking his back, arm bars, and you want the option here to control him this way. Either way, you want to give him as much to worry about as possible. So here, regular side control, base, swim through. Base, swim through, push the hips, ass never hits the ground. My elbow's on the ground, checking the knee. All right? And then he's going to get up on his knees. He's going to roll into me, get up on my knees, because my twister side control sucks. It's going to be very easy for him to get up on his knees. And from here, now we're going to do something a little different. We're going to grab the ankles here. No, actually, well, we can do two different ways. We're going to grab the ankles here first. Plant. See how it would be best, really, if I had time to stick the grapevine in first, but we don't have time for that. As soon as you try to stick that grapevine in, then he's going to roll and escape. So at this point, you could only get your knee in. So you want that knee in. Eventually, that whole leg is going to be in. So you want my left knee as deep as possible. Control his ankle here. Separate his legs here. I flatten my foot between both his legs. Same thing. I'm going to pull him on top of me, but now my grapevine isn't in yet. I have to get it in during the roll. See, now I split his legs, then I lock him down, and we're here. Again, it's getting a little more complicated. The only thing that's different, really, is once he gets up to his knees, you don't have time to get that, to stick your left grapevine. So from here, base, swim through, twister side. Leaning into him, making it really hard for him to push me off. So always go to the mat. But he's going to end up getting up on his knees, grab the ankle, split the feet, pull him on top of me. I'm opening up his legs with my right leg, feeding my left leg, locking it down. Calf crank. Again. Regular side control, twister side control. He gets up on his knees, grab his ankle, plant your right foot between his feet, pull him on top of you. That left leg's got to split. It's
You gotta lace it in the roll. One more time. Regular side control. Twister side control. He gets up on his knees. He stays, grab the ankles. You could control this way too. I call this Sousa control. It's not Tony the Sousa controls, guys, from when we set up the twister. This or this, grab the ankle. My right foot was planted between both of his feet before I pulled him back. The main thing, when he gets up on his knees, up on your knees, all my weight on the small of his back, and his left knee, deep. His ankle, back to right foot, all my weight's on. That left knee is deep. As soon as I pull my top, my left leg splits his legs.
Hey, Eddie, is there an easy way to get that, like, if that guy's resisting you can't reach his toes, bring that far leg to you?
You're not going to be able to get it every time. That's the count.
Okay.
It's like someone's going for a darts or neck crank.
Your next one. Okay.
You know what? That move really, when I'm at the truck and I go for the calf crank, I would say it works 50% of the time, which is great. 50% of you can get a move that works 50% of the time. That's monstrous. Now that's a tapping move. It's huge, and that's a reason I don't hardly go to it though. It's usually when I get there, I want the twister. It always feels better to get the twister. Half the time when you get the calf crank, people are like, "What happened?" It looks like both people are going for legs. Doesn't look as cool.
Damage the knee if they don't have it.
Can you damage the knee? I'm sure. I don't know where it's going to be damaged. I haven't really heard anybody do that. The pain move. It's like you're smashing the calf. It's like you're cranking the ankle. I don't really know exactly.
Your knee with a calf crank one time?
Yeah. My knee was different. So it was towards the outside.
So let me walk you through this. Let's go. Regular side control. Regular side control.
Yeah, follow him.
Regular side control. Chest to chest, head and arm. You're on your knees. Chest to chest, head and arm, you're on your knees. All these guys got it down right. Chest to chest, you're on your knees. Head and arm. And everyone get on your opponent's right side. Just so that we're all on the same page. Everybody get on your opponent's right side. Alright? You got head and arm. So the first move is going to be with your right hand, you're going to base out on the mat. Your left hand is going to swim through on the inside. Twister side control. You're sitting on his right shoulder. Your ass should not be on the mat. The small of your back should be digging into his jaw. Your ass should not be on the mat. Both his arms and his head should be behind you. You're on your left elbow. You're on your left elbow. Now, the guy on the bottom, just get up on your knees, quick. Elbows and knees. Guy on top, your chest is resting on the small of his back. Get your left knee in deep. Get your left knee in deep. Both hands on his ankle. Get your left in. This is where it gets tricky. Now your right foot splits both of his feet. Plant it between both of his feet. Now when you pull him on top of you, your left leg has got to split his legs. You go all the way inside. Pull him on top of you. Split his legs. Left leg splits. Lock it down. Lock it down. Left leg splits. Lock it down. Left leg splits. Now go to the calf crank now. There you go. Okay, switch. I'm going to walk you through it. I'm going to make it real easy. We got a lot of guys here, so it's hard for me to keep track of everybody. If you listen, you're gonna get it perfect. If you don't listen, start going on your own, then you're on your own. Alright? Chest to chest, head and arm. Twister side control. Base out with your right hand, your left hand swims through. You should be sitting on your shoulders. Both his arms are supposed to be behind you. So plant both his arms behind you. There you go. The small of your back should be digging into his jaw. Nice. Everyone's got it. Your left elbow is on the ground. Both his arms are behind you. You're sitting on his jaw. Nice. Now the guy on the bottom gets up on his knees. Grab his fore ankle with both your hands. Stick Keep your left knee in as deep as possible. Your right foot plants between both his feet. Your chest is resting on top of the small of his back. All right? So now when you pull him on top of you, you better make sure that left leg splits both his legs, goes between his legs, and your right leg goes on top. Lock him down. Pull him on top. Split his legs, lock it down. There you go. And then go to the calf crank. If you're having trouble and you're lost, freeze. If you've done it right, go ahead. Just like you should end up just like the first guy who heard me. Pull your left leg going. What am I doing? Hold on. Regular best you guys are trying to follow him. Yeah, we're trying. Regular side control. Regular side control. Regular side control. Regular side control.
I guess you count yourself too, so.
Is everybody in regular side control? If you got this mastered, if you want to go on your own, you can go to another room. I'm walking everybody through it. You got it mastered in 2 reps. That's amazing. Put you in my next book. Most guys on the planet need a couple years to get this down. I'm trying to walk you through this, all right? You guys pay big money. I'm trying to give you your money's worth. Twister side control. There you go. You should be sitting on his shoulder. Your right hand should be on his left knee, checking it. Your right hand, your left elbow should be on the ground. Beautiful. Nice. Now he gets up on his knees. Stick that left knee in. Control him. All your weight on the small of his back. Stick that left knee in deep. You got to hook that leg. The deeper you stick it, the better. Pull him up. Your right foot plants between both his feet. That's going to open up his legs to make it easy to feed that left leg. Pull him on top of you. That left leg feeds. Splits, lock it down. Split, lock it down. There you go. Lock it down. Lock it down. Once you lock it down, your left leg never split its leg.
Oh, God. There. Yeah, you had it.
Just like this.
There.
That leg is finish him up.
How many did you get? In here?
Switch, regular side control. Regular side control. Twister side control. Nice. Your ass should not be on the ground. Your left elbow should be on the ground.
Your goal is to have your hip on my shoulder. So you're not barely on my chest.
Okay, you're checking his left knee with your right hand. Now he gets up to his knees. Control those ankles. He gets up to his knees. Stick that left knee in deep. All your weight on the small of his back. You're on top of him, keeping him down. Your right foot plants between both his feet. Plant that right foot. Now, remember, when you pull him on top, you get that left leg in. Pull him on top of you, get that left leg in. The left leg didn't split anything. Calf crank.
Okay. Now, you gotta this one's gotta come out. Grab my toes.
Switch. Regular side control. There you go. Got it. Regular side control. Regular side control. Faster we get to regular side control, it should take 8 seconds.
The whole mastery thing, I think.
Now remember, first move, right hand on the mat, left arm swims through. Twister side control. Switch it. Your ass should not be on the ground. You should be sitting on his biceps, on his shoulder. Don't have your arm like this.
Working it.
Let him sit on his shoulder. Nice. Your right hand checking his left knee. There you go. Get up on your knees. Stick that left knee in. Grab that ankle. Plant your right foot. Pull on top of you. Get that left leg in. Lock it down. Lock it down. Control him. Give him a good tug. Lock him down. Control him. Then attack him. If you attack him too quick, you'll give him a little window to escape.
Really stretch out my leg.
Regular side control. Regular side control. Same side. Don't try to look at the other side. Same side. If you're on the bottom, don't put your hands together. Don't do that. You don't want to do that anyway. You want to stay loose. You don't want to do this either. You don't want to hold on. Remember, first movement, twist the side control, base out with your right hand, left hand squares through, check that knee, sit on his shoulder. Beautiful, beautiful. Now he gets up on his knees, grab those ankles, put all your weight on top of him, stick that left knee in, pull him on top of you, wrap that, split those legs up. There you go, there you go. Split those legs, there you go. Split those legs. There you go. Tug that lock down. Give that lockdown a squeeze, then attack with the calf. Nice.
Forward? Forward in here?
Switch. Switch. Now go back. You gotta get it. Who's having trouble? Who's having trouble? Anybody? Everyone stop. Who's having trouble? Okay, I'm gonna walk you through it right now. Let's go. Regular side control. Twister side control. He gets it. That's perfect. Check his knee. He gets up on his knees, stick that knee in there, grab those ankles, stick your left knee, plant your right foot between both his feet. Now when you pull him on top of you, hook his legs, pull him on top of you, get that left leg in, get that left leg in. The problem is,
You gotta take your side. All you do is pull.
this leg doesn't move shit. This leg stays, you see how it's trying to hook anything?
And then your left leg is the one that
There you go, now finish him off.
Gotcha. Okay.
Shot,
Ready?
switch.
Go for it.
Very good, finish him off and switch. Regular side control. Who else is having problems? Right here? Okay, regular side control. Regular side control. Twister side control. There you go. He gets up on his knees. Stick that knee in, grab those ankles. Stick that knee in. All your weight on the small of his back. When you pull him on top, get that left leg, wrap it around between his legs. Pull him on top of you, left leg. In. Go. You got the lock. Oh, I get it. Slide it up. See that? You got it. Finish it off with the tap drag. Who else got the block? Switch it up. I was trying to bring you. Everyone's getting better and better. Nice. Switch it up. Who else got the block? Over here. Rob. Regular side control. Twister side control. Beautiful. Get up on your knees. Grab those ankles. Stick that left knee in deep. Stick that knee in deep. When you pull them on top, make sure your left leg splits your legs. Bam. See how this left leg, this right leg's on top? You got it. See that? This one splits through, and this one's just on the outside.
Oh, okay.
And then you do the calf crank, just like we've always been, just like we've been doing.
Okay.
First, same thing. The ending is the same. Stop on your.
Okay, there we go.
Same thing. Remember? Switch. Regular side control. Stay on the same side. Yeah, right. Regular side control. Twister side control. Nobody's ass should be on the mat. There you go. Look, check his left knee with your right hand. You're gonna cut. Boom. Even in just regular grappling. He gets up on his knees. Grab those ankles. Drive that left knee in. Plant your right foot. Pull him on top of you. Cinch it all in. Get that lock down in. There you go. Just like everything. Regular side control. You guys getting it? Someone have problems over here? Nobody? You guys getting it? Regular side control. Twister side control. He gets up to his knee. Grab his ankle. Stop your right foot between his foot. Pull him on top. Lace the legs up. Lace the legs up. Now we're gonna do the same thing, exact same thing. A couple more reps each, but we're gonna instead of controlling the ankle with both our hands, we're gonna go to the D'Souza control, which is ultimately the best control in the scramble.
I feel like I'm under him too far. Do I need to be out or when I pull him over me?
Let me see. When he turns to his knees, and then I pull him over, I feel like I'm too far like under it. No. That's fine. You're perfect. You gotta just remember when you lock up the legs, go right to the lockdown as soon as possible. Straighten it out. Because with loose legs, a guy who's experienced with the twister, they're gonna unravel their legs. At high levels, when you're going against guys who do the twister all the time, you see it all the time. It's all about controlling that leg and not letting it slip. That's like you don't control those legs and wearing knee sleeves or any kind of anything that adds friction. Like I always wear pants or knee sleeves with ankle sleeves. That makes your lockdown better, and it's gonna pay off in the half guard, in the twister, and in the guard. So if you don't like pants, wear knee sleeves and some ankle sleeves. If you want your half guard and your full guard and your twister as dangerous as possible. You go sweaty legs, that lowers the percentage rate dramatic. I mean, if I'm rolling with someone and I don't got pants on, I'm already thinking, shit, I gotta attack quick before the sweat sets. And then it's a hot oil wrestling, especially with the guys that wear a t-shirt. All right, so that's why I wear pants, just to add offense. It's just, it changes my game dramatically. Now what we're gonna do, Tom, same thing. You can't get enough practice going to twister side control. Because none of this is gonna work unless you can control the guy from twister side control. You gotta get there. First, before you get good at it, you gotta know what it feels like. It's all about reps. You're just repping the position over and over, making it part of your game because you want to go to, because it's your money, not because you're trying to develop your game. At first, it's gonna be that way. But the goal is to make it your game. That's when it snowballs. Now you don't have to work on it anymore. You don't have to try to work on it. You're going to. And now it gets crazy. But most people never even get there. They're like, fuck that. Every time I go for it, I get choked out. And then they don't put it in the drilling on the side. I mean, it seems that it's really, jiu-jitsu is such a new sport, especially no-gi jiu-jitsu, and all the conflict between, is the gi the same thing as no-gi? Most Brazilians think it's the same thing. When it's not the same thing, but they think it's the same thing. And there's a lot of mystery to jiu-jitsu moves, because it's so new and so many people are coming up with different strategies and different controls. There's just so much to learn in jiu-jitsu. I'm still a student. I'm still learning. There's just too much. But in wrestling, in jiu-jitsu, some guy comes up with a new move today, some black belt shows with this move, and then guys will try it out a couple times and go, oh shit, and maybe they learn it fast and they get implemented until they get quick, and now they got a new move. But most of the time, with jiu-jitsu, you learn a new move, you practice it a couple times, you let it go because you never gave it a chance, you never mastered it. So instead of saying I never mastered it, most people say, well, that's the low percentage move. Because it's low percentage for you, because you haven't mastered it. And the defense is always easier than offense. So once a guy figures out what you're doing, before you even master it, he's already got the defense. Defense is so easy. Once you figure out what's going on, man, it stops everything. How are you gonna do anything? You just climb up. And I got some students, you can't open up their elbows. It's so hard to get anything. But in wrestling, someone shows you a double leg or a single, and if it doesn't work for you, you don't say, damn, doubles don't work, double legs don't work, or singles don't work. I try them all the time, they never work. No one ever says that. They question the technique, the person, not the technique, right? You go to a kickboxing school and you're like, dude, I never land uppercuts. That's bullshit. I never land. This guy been working on uppercuts for 2 years. I can't land one. And every now and then I land it. It doesn't knock anybody out. No one ever says that. They say the uppercut sucks. Not the uppercut sucks. Your uppercut sucks. And, in most positions in wrestling, you never question the technique. You question your hours. So same thing with jiu-jitsu. But people don't look at it that way. It's so new. So they'll try something a little bit and oh shit, it doesn't work. They don't realize how long it takes to master.
it takes so long. I've had my school almost 4 years now. Maybe 7 or 8 guys are really good at what I'm showing you right now. Maybe 7 or 8 guys. Takes a long time. Good enough to do it on someone who knows the defense, who's been working the defense and the drills. 7 or 8 guys. Rubber guard, 4 guys. And we're almost at the 4 guys. You don't just learn, you know, it's easier for a guy coming in with a black belt in jiu-jitsu and judo. You know, Aoki's, he picked it up really easy. He's already flexible. Really easy to add to his game. He doesn't have to worry about all the balance and all the other shit that a new guy would have to worry about trying to pull off these crazy moves. They don't have a balance now. They barely understand the game. That's gonna take a while. It's gonna take years. It's like how long, it's easy to show someone, you know, collar control, sleeve control with the gi. That's easy. You could show someone how to do a collar choke less than 5 minutes. How long is it going to take for them to do it similarly good? Again, they don't question the collar choke. You question the technique. In jiu-jitsu, gi jiu-jitsu, you always question. It's like wrestling. It's been around so long, and they've polished it and mastered those chokes. So my point is, the only way you're going to get any of the stuff down that I'm showing, you're going to have to find somebody on your own just once a week for an hour and drill. No sparring, no talking, just drill. For an hour, it makes such a big difference. The hardest part is finding someone who's actually going to do it. People, jiu-jitsu is so much fun that it kills it. Because you just want to spar. That's the fun part. You just want to get in the roll, tap. You know, so excited. Every night is like a competition. But it's so much fun that it takes away from the actual drilling. People drill jiu-jitsu like they drill wrestling games in Iowa. Man, that'd be a whole different thing. It really is like that. People are just sparring. And you can get good sparring, like slowly. You add some drilling, an hour a week, that's it. 2 hours and you got it. Man, it makes such a big difference. And you'll get a difference. You'll see the difference in what? Like, oh shit. Man, you'll learn that any moves you want, you can have as many paths and as many setups as you want. You just gotta put the time. You gotta put those numbers. Every move has a magic number. You know, like if you're learning a certain setup, and it might take 570 reps before your body goes like, I got this one. Or it could take 75,000. My point is every move has a different number, and every number for that move is different with every person. But when you get that magic number, bam, you own that move. Now, let's add another one. The problem is people never hit those magic numbers. And all those moves, every move. There's only so much time in the deck. You know, but you can have as many as you want. It's up to you. Everybody's game out there, you know, all the top guys are not aliens. They're all good at certain things. Like you can get Marcelo Garcia good. You just gotta put in some serious numbers. You gotta practice. And the twister, shit. This is probably the hardest part of my system. But if you have faith and you believe, you could have this whole dimension to your game that people just aren't used to. They're gonna do things at first and you're just gonna touch it right away. Then they're gonna have to study your game and realize what the hell you're doing and they really have to pay attention. But now they got something else to worry about. And then you gotta get so good at it, you catch it in the scramble. You're going against guys who are really good at defending. Now you gotta get really tricky. And then the setups get really complex. And every step you gotta be very careful. You know, every step you can't just run through steps. You gotta break it all down. So now we're gonna do the same thing. Regular side control head and arm. Twister side here. He gets up to his knees. Now twister side stops. I don't want him to get up on his knees. I want to keep him on his side. But he's up. Now we're gonna control here. Upward pressure on the inside of the thigh. Just out. I'm coming up. We got an S grip here and bring it out. It's like this. Now putting my weight on it. Right here. I guess the best way to control him here is just to take your forearm and just crank it up his balls. We don't want to do that. So we're doing it this way. S grip just like this. The arm is digging in, palm out, right here. Same thing. Then we plant foot here. Same thing. Then we pull on top, left leg splits, lock it down here. Same thing, but we're changing the control. This control actually got me. This is the control you really, really want. The double ankle control, it's really good too, but this is better. The regular side control, twister side control. He gets up on his knees. Gets up on his knees. It's called D'Souza here. D'Souza freeze. Boom on top. Over here, same thing. Bang. Now we're gonna add something different. We're gonna be here, and now he's gonna keep his leg bent just like this. If his leg was here, I would do something else. I would come here. But since his leg's bent and my hands are already in place, we're gonna have the banana split now. Now from here, all we're gonna do is we're gonna pull back this way towards his arm. And I'm gonna try to make like a little hoop here, and I'm gonna bring my head through, and my right foot is gonna side kick his Achilles here, and I'm gonna stretch him out. Regular side control, twister side control. He gets up on his knees. As soon as all my weight's on him, see? Controlling him here. The arm that's coming inside, palm facing out, pull on top of me. Lock down the legs, just like this. The back of my wrist to the back of his knee. Side kick his Achilles here. I'm gonna pull back here. See that? If you're going against someone, that's a flexibility move. The guy's really flexible. He's been doing ballet since he was 2. It's not going to work. On chicks, this usually doesn't work. Karate guys, probably ain't going to work. They'll probably laugh at you. But you check their flexibility. All the flexibility moves are right there. Check it. If he's not flexible enough, bam, you got the tap, you're out of there. But if he's flexible, that's why options are so important. Regular side control, twister side control. Gets up on his knees. Now we're here. Nice grip here. I'm going to look to my right. Just pull. I go to spider web. There's a lot of different things you can do. Again, the more options, the better. The more weapons you have, the better. If a guy figures you out, you got 3 things, no gi. The most common, for me, I see really guys at high level, the most common scenario is you get a guy who's really good, he's got 3 or 4 things in his shooting. I have a good shield, I have a good guillotine, really good kimura, and maybe a couple other things. But once you figure out a guy, again, you guys all know this, once you go with the same guy, enough, the shit, who you go to, and then you defend that, you might get caught, a few times, but eventually you're gonna stop his game. And it's easier to stop if the guy's really good at only 3 or 4 or 5 things. That's easier to stop if the guy's good at 20 things, 20 different guys. That's hard to stop. Now you got a lot to think about. And that's another reason why learning all the variations of the twisters is so huge. Again, right there, I took the twister off, a failed back attempt, but it's more common to be in someone's side, if you have someone's side control, than have their back. It's way more common. If you're going to a guy equal level, man, you might never get to that. You might never get to have the option to go to the twister. But you probably can pass the guard, and if you pass the guard, there's an opportunity for all that twister stuff, which leads back to the back, which could be the spider web sweep, come back to the back to the trunk. A lot of different options. And the hardest way to set up the twister is from side control. Definitely, that's the hardest. That takes a long time because it's a different kind of side control. You got to control someone in a different way. Most people are used to passing the guard and getting the regular side control here, head and arm, maybe knee on the belly. They're working here. Maybe they're trying to work moves here, or they're working for the mount. After a while, that's your money. You pass the guard, you got your money, you got your way. You control the guy, you got that head and arm. You stick with that. You like that. It took 3 minutes to pass this guard. You don't want to experiment. You want to stick to your shit. That's a problem too, because twister side control is different. This is the way you control. This is the way I control. I work regular side control as well too. But right here, it's almost like I'm getting my back. It's sitting on the shoulder. I got my back on his jaw, and he might be bucking me off. I'm controlling here. This takes a while to master that kind of control. At first, you go live, you're gonna get your back taken. He's gonna put you back in the guard. He's gonna choke you out. He might put you in the twister. Anytime someone tries to put me in the twister and they're not that good, I know I'm just gonna flip it. If you're not careful setting up the twister, and the guy's better at you, it's
almost like leg locks. You know, when you decide to go to leg locks, if that guy's better at you at leg locks, you're probably going to get, you know, your ankle taken. That's one thing that all leg lock masters have in common, or most of them, is they all got messed up knees. Because they usually get the leg lock, but every now and then they run it into a guy who's a little bit better, or just as good, and then they start cranking, and then they tear their ACL. Okay, so my point is, with all this is, it adds a whole different dimension, a whole different bag of tricks, a whole different way he's got to defend you and your attacks. If he knows you don't know any of the twister stuff, and you're not going to twister side control, he knows if you pass his guard, you gotta maybe watch the Kimura, block the mount, you know, don't give up your back, try to work back to half guard. And you know you could turn into him, which is, you know, what you do. If you're at side control here, he's gonna want to turn into you. He's not gonna want to turn away. You know, that's the jiu-jitsu law has always been that anytime someone passes your guard, you turn into him, try to get your knees back, try to recover. Try to get half guard, try to get full guard if you can. That's huge. But if you've mastered twister side control and the truck, eventually he's going to learn not to turn into you. The way you're going to defend that is to do nothing. If I'm here, he wants to turn into me. He turns into me, I'm going to set up a twister, just like top bottom in wrestling. I just stick the hook in, the hook's here. He's just not on his knees. I got the hook here. Meanwhile, I'm controlling. I lock everything down here. Just because he turned into me, he's trying to stay. He's trying to do what he's supposed to do. But if the guy knows a twister, it's exactly what I want. And then from here, we're going to roll. And now, I could just roll to his back, or I could attack his feet here. There's a lot of things I could do. Or, get back in a second. Or I could just use this setup here, even if his arms, it doesn't matter, just to get to the back. His hands caught, which is bad for him. We go side control to the back from there. Very common in my school. A lot of guys, it takes so long to master every piece, just to control the guy. That's something you got to work on its own, separate. Today, just working on twister side. You can start. A lot of guys don't like working the twister side control because anytime they work it, usually in sparring, and when they spar, their egos are involved and they don't want to tap. So like I said before, you spend all this time passing the guard. It's a buddy that you don't want to experiment with, and that's what usually happens with jiu-jitsu. You go to your go-to shit. You don't want to experiment while you're rolling. You get someone good. So you really never work on it if you're not drilling it on separate time. A good way to drill twister side control is starting twister side control with somebody and control him as long as possible. As soon as he gets your back or recovers half guard, start over and switch. Just keep working at it. You remove the ego. You know, that you've got to drill certain positions live until you master it. Otherwise, you're never going to get there. And I hear the story over and over again. Someone comes up to me and says, oh, I hit the twister a couple times in class last week in a tournament. I'm like, where'd you get it, from the back or twister side or side? They always say the back. It's the back, it's easy. Initially, getting the twister from the back is easier. But then, you're probably not going to want to go to as much because you're thinking rear naked choke. So, very few people get to the point where they make the twister part of their game, not something that they're trying to develop. Once you make it part of your game, it's your go-to, and you're going to not to work on it, you've already done all your work. Now then it starts to swell. You get really dangerous. Now, this guy's got two things to worry about. And the greatest thing about, or one of the greatest things about twister side control is it's easier to mount from here, especially if you have flexibility, than it is from here. If he's got his knee up defending the mount, sometimes I can't get that knee on his belly to slide it across. He's got his hand here pushing, even pushing my knee, it's hard. But if I got good twister side control here, and he's not turning into me, and all my tricks to get him on his side, to force him on his side, they're not working, I just mount. So, it makes your game, it takes your game to a whole new level. It makes your opponent have to worry about the mount. You gotta have a good mount too. You gotta have a good mount. That's a whole different part of the system. Your mount's gotta be down, dangerous, and respected. Because if you find guys just letting you mount, just to get you, just so that they get out of side control, that's not good. You need to work on your mount. You want guys to fear your mount. So that's a whole different game, But the twister side control allows you to work on it. And you're gonna find that people just would rather give you the mount. then have to deal with your twister. So take advantage of it. I came to that point, probably in 98, 99, where my mount sucked. It was terrible. I would always pass the guard, and work twister side control and try to work from that angle. And then ultimately, the guys at my gym, John Jocks, would just give me the mount. They knew that my mount sucked, and that it would be a lot easier for them if they would just give me the mount and they try to buck me off or whatever. They'd have a better chance there. But I just decided to make my mount, respected. That's all I wanted. Just give me some respect. Don't let me just mount. And then, now I love them. I'm in the mount all the time. That's the goal. The mount opens up everything. I love them. I love being on top. A lot of people think that I pull guard because I would rather be on top. The only reason I pull guard was in tournaments was because, you train a couple months really, really, really hard. You're dieting, you're paying $60. You got to weigh in. It's not fun. You get preparing for a tournament, and then you get to the tournament, and it's 6 minutes, and then you're standing up for 2 or 3, trying to take each other down. You finally get the fight to the ground. It's a 6-minute match. You spent $60. You drove 2 hours. So the reason I pulled guard always, I'm like, I just wanted to get the party started. I didn't want to waste any time. So I want to make this clear that I don't ever recommend pulling guard unless it's your last option. If it's your last option, like if you're an MMA fighter and you're going against a guy who's fucking you upstanding and you can't take him down, that's a scenario that happens all the time. Guy cannot take the guy down and he's getting his ass kicked. All you have is, the safest route is to pull guard and hopefully you've done your homework off your back, because that's going to be your only shot. Unless you're going to, you're going to take a chance going toe to toe with some guy who's kicking your ass. So I would always rather be on top. All my half guard game is based on, my whole half guard is based on getting on top, finally getting on top. I'm not really finishing that many people from half guard unless they have no flexibility, and then I can go to the electric chair and finish them. But usually it's all sweep. I want to be on top. I want to sweep. I want to use the rubber guard for omoplatas to get a sweep so I can be on top, so I can pass the guard, so I can get to the mount, so I can get to the truck, so I can get to the back. Really, that's the goal. I like finishing off my back too, but most of my guard really is sweeps. The rubber guard is all based on, my main goal is to trap that right arm, trap the right arm down, sweep you, get you to roll, and so I can get on top, so I can work on what I'm about to show you right now. This is really the basis of my game. So we're going to start off really, you're going to get a partner, and we're going to do a really easy setup, just so you understand what it feels like. He's on all fours here. I can put both hooks in for the back, but all I'm going to do is put one hook in really deep, and with my hands grab his far ankle, pull him on top of me, lock down that leg. Now we're in the truck. We're never letting go of his ankle or his hand. If I let go, he's out. All he's got to do is spin to the left, face me, and he's in my half guard. Spin to the left, face me, that's the way out. So anytime I have a guy in the truck, I'm always holding his ankle, I'm holding the guards here. I'm not going to let it spin. He knows the way out is to break free and spin and face me, and now he's out. Again, all we're going to do is just stick one leg all the way in, grapevine it, grab his far ankle, his free ankle, both hands pull up top, and then we lock down the neck. It's not a triangle. Sometimes you can control it like this, but a lockdown is, my ankles are crossed here. I'm trying to straighten out my legs. Same positioning in the half guard, and it's just as important when you twist. If I lose control of his leg here, he's out. I have nothing. I got to keep this lockdown in. It's got to be tight the whole time while I'm fighting here. So what we're going to do, we're going to start with the simple setup, so everyone feels it, and we're going to throw a calf plank on top of it. So it's one leg in, grapevine, pull him on top of us here, control with the lockdown. Then from here, this hand can stay on his foot here as high as possible on the toes, not the ankles, on the toes. Don't open up your hands like this. Keep your thumbs in. And we're going to grab these other toes the exact same way. At the toes, the higher the right, and then we're going to start. We're going from lockdown here, grab the toes, and start. You don't want to do this here, because he can arm bar over here.
Don't pay me back.
I've been copied. So you don't want to do this. You want to control this leg because as soon as he feels you're going for this calf crank,
he's gonna use that to kick everything free. That's his savior. You want to take this out of the mix, so you can isolate this, and you're stomping on the heel here. Very, very common in the street. Getting all the way to the twister, that's halfway to the twister. Getting all the way to the twister is a lot. There's other steps that you have to master. Some of my guys just have mastered twister side control. They lock up the legs, they get to the truck, they go to the easy out, they go to the cap. That's the easiest one. Probably the highest percentage. Guys with really strong legs, nothing's going to work all the time. Then you start thinking about your other options. But that's the one. I have a few guys that can get that from me really good. They're not very good at the last 3 or 4 steps to finish the twister. That'll come later. And then we'll start working on those steps later. Start building on the game. Every step needs to be mastered. Every little position. Every time I break a move down into steps, those steps have to be mastered. The offense for that step has to be better than his defense will have to move to the next step. That's all it really is. One more time. Your partner's going to get on all 4s. Stick the grapevine in, both hands on his far ankle. Open the top. Hook his toes. High on his instep. Step. Alright? Grab a partner, I'm going to walk you through it. Get on all 4s, I'm going to walk you through it. We'll work on the same side. Everybody's working the same side.
You were injured.
Hold on, I'll walk you through it. Easy, I'm going to walk you through it.
Be one of those girls that to be extra.
You just got to work on it. Switch it up, regular side control.
Shane, where's your bags at?
Twist the side control.